Hello folks, and welcome to Todd's Tips and Tricks for Kibo's Unified Commerce Platform. Today's tip: bulk update locations using a Postman runner. Remember that all of the API requests used in this video are explained on our documentation portal, docs.kibocommerce.com. When locations were updated as a part of the Unified Commerce Platform project, which brought Classic Ecom and Classic OMS together, changes to the locations were not included in the import-export tool. So anyone who's tried to bulk update locations knows that time zone is not included, the closed flag is not included, hours are not updated, and even in the Classic platform, custom attributes are ignored. The platform is ever improving, but while we wait for these fields to be added to the import-export tool, we have put together this Postman Runner tutorial that will allow admin users to update all of their locations from a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is like the import-export tool locations table, but has some very important differences required for the Postman Runner. The assets for this tutorial contain an Excel file with a tab that has a description of each of the fields, as well as an example tab of batch location data that we will be using for this tutorial. Let's review the major differences from the import-export tool format. The location type codes are a snippet of JSON that tie the location to the types that are set up in the tenant. For each location type that applies to a location, put in a JSON snippet for that type. Make sure that the location type code exists under location types in the system, or this import will throw an error for each row that has a code that doesn't exist in the tenant. The fulfillment type codes field is like the location type codes in that it is a JSON snippet of the fulfillment types that apply to the location. Notice that for either the location types or the fulfillment types, when there is a single code, the JSON is valid. However, when there is more than one code associated to a location, each of the pieces of JSON are separated by a comma, but the JSON is not a valid array. When we review the Postman Runner request, you will see how this format is used to apply the type codes. Scrolling over to the right, there is an open and close for each day of the week. If the location is not open on a particular day, don't populate those fields. Use a 24-hour clock for the time. The is closed field for each of the days of the week is a true-false indicator that the location is open or closed on that day. This field is always required. The time zone field is a fully described time zone. For example, Central Standard Time, not CST. Finally, in our example, you will see a field named Tenant Sales Rep. This is used as an example to show how an administrator can add attributes to the bulk import as well. In our example, we've added a new attribute to the location called Sales Rep, and we're going to assign those values when we import the entire data file. Once you've completed setting up your data file, save it as a CSV. It doesn't matter what you name the file, just that you remember what the name is and where you have saved it. Now that we have our data set up, let's look at the Postman Collection for this tutorial. The link to this collection is in the assets of this tutorial. Go to Commerce, Admin, Locations, Runner, and open the Add Location Runner request. See how the values for each of the fields is a variable name enclosed in two brackets. The runner will attempt to make a case-sensitive match of the variable name to the column headers in the data file. Note how the location types and fulfillment type arrays are set up in such a way that if the field is empty in the spreadsheet, an empty array is passed and the structure of the JSON will be correct. Scroll to the bottom to see the attributes section. If you don't have any attributes to update, simply remove this element. If you have more than one attribute, copy the element and add that back into your JSON, using the fully qualified name of the attribute, as the Excel column name and the variable name. To run the file, click on the runner folder and you will see a run command. Click on run and deselect all of the requests except for the add location runner. Select the file that you saved earlier and click run. Note how the run button is appended with the name of your workspace. If there are no problems with the file, you will get a 201 for each one of the requests. There should be one for every row in the spreadsheet. If you see 409 responses while trying to create locations, that means the location already exists and you need to use the update request. On the update request, if you see 404 responses, that means the location doesn't exist yet and you need to create. Once the add or update is complete, you should be able to go into admin, look into the locations, and see the new locations that you've added or updated. So today we have added and updated a batch of locations from a CSV file using Postman Runner. All of these assets used in the video are linked below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to get more tips and tricks.